Back in 2015, I took a solo road trip to a forest a few hours from home. There was a hike leading up to an old, abandoned fire lookout that I'd been dying to explore. I should mention it was technically illegal to enter or camp there. The structure hadn't been maintained and was considered unstable. Still, after some online research, most accounts said it seemed fine, though the last post I found about it was from 3 years earlier. So honestly, I had no real idea what to expect. I found a small ditch by the side of the road to park in, grabbed my backpack loaded with 2 days' worth of supplies, and set off. There wasn't a marked trail, just dense, unfamiliar woods, so I used a handheld satellite GPS to navigate. The hike took about 4 to 5 hours, growing more brutal the deeper into the forest I went. I was banking hard on that fire lookout still being intact enough for shelter. If not, I'd have to camp somewhere nearby. After what felt like forever, I finally spotted the building peeking through the trees. Up close, it looked surprisingly solid. The paint was worn, but the structure held up. I tested the support beams, and they were sturdy. The metal ladder leading up creaked but felt safe enough to climb. Reaching the top, I was immediately awestruck by the view. Endless forest stretched in every direction, no houses, no roads, just pure wilderness. Inside, the lookout was tiny, maybe 150 square feet. A decaying bed sat in one corner, and a rotting wooden desk in the other. The windows were cracked and dirty, but the place felt secluded. Perfect. I rolled out my sleeping bag, cooked a quick meal on my camping stove, and watched the sunset from the ledge, one of the most breathtaking sights I'd ever seen. Night fell quickly, and the sky was so cloudy that not even the stars were visible. Still, I sat out there, soaking in the stillness. About an hour into the night, I noticed a light moving through the trees below. It wasn't the sharp beam of a flashlight, it was softer, orange, flickering like a torch. Strange. Who would be out here at night, with a torch, of all things? I watched it drift between the trees, but eventually, it disappeared behind the dense forest and never returned. Feeling a little unnerved but still oddly calm, I stayed out a while longer before deciding to head inside. As I stood up for one last look, I saw a figure standing in the clearing just below the lookout, staring up at me. "Hello?" I called down. No response. We just stared at each other for what felt like forever. Then, slowly, the person raised a hand, almost like a wave or an apology, turned, and silently walked back into the woods. No light, no sound, just vanished into the dark. Creepy, sure. But somehow, in the moment, I convinced myself it was just another hiker checking if the lookout was occupied. Maybe they were trying to figure out if they could camp here, too.